How much money did they take off? Did they get for the vehicle? How much money did they take off the debt?
Nothing. They added to it.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Imagine losing your car and somehow ending up owing even more money than before. That's exactly what this woman is telling the court right now. A $22,000 debt, a repossessed vehicle, and a judge who is about to realize something here doesn't add up at all. What starts as a simple payment request is about to turn into a full-blown courtroom breakdown.
Can't afford it. I need some relief.
What happened to the vehicle that you purchased or the
They repossessed it because I couldn't afford it. It was either my car or my housing, so I chose housing.
how much money did they take off? Did they get for the vehicle? How much money did they take off the debt?
Nothing. They added to it.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Me either.
Counsel, what's your position?
As far as the car being sold, I wasn't prepared to answer that. I'm briefly looking for it right now, but as far as this judgment balance is very high, it's over $22,000 owed on that car. So in my response, I requested $500 a month as $50 is not covering statutory interest on that. And as far as what I'd be able to stipulate to, it would be higher than what the defendant wants to pay, I would think, considering the balance.
Well, I think it might be important to figure out what happened to the vehicle. I can't believe that a $20,000 vehicle that was repossessed still has a $20,000 loan attached to it.
Okay, it was auctioned off and sold for $2,000.
How long did she have the vehicle?
From 2022. Okay, so it was repossessed.
Did you hear that? A vehicle that originally carried over $20,000 in debt was repossessed and then sold for just $2,000. In only 2 years. That is an $18,000 drop in value. And now the lender still wants her to pay the full remaining balance. The judge is starting to question whether this is just bad luck or something much worse.
So in 2 years of used vehicle lost $18,000 in value?
Well, freely, Your Honor, I wasn't expected the underlying judgment to be attacked today. I thought this was just a motion for installment payments here. But
I understand that, but I also have to do justice.
I understand. I'm just going through the documents right now. I mean, she had the right of redemption here. There's damage on the front bumper, damage on the rear bumper.
It wasn't.
How many miles are on that there? 61,551. 61. And the car was driven over 13,000 miles. This was for a used 2014 Chevy Explorer, and the defendant entered into this contract, Your Honor.
Yep, she did.
And credit acceptance isn't the seller of the car. They're the financer of the car, and they provided the financing for this.
So when she bought the car, the 2014 Ford Explorer with 48,000 miles on it, when you got the car back, it was a vehicle back. It was a 2014 Ford, 10 years old. She bought it with 8 years old, and it had, according to you, 61,000 miles on it. You telling me a 10-year-old Ford with 68,000 miles is only worth?
If you're into real courtroom moments like this where the truth slowly comes out piece by piece, Make sure you hit subscribe, because cases like this only get more intense the deeper you go.
And we've already resolved that.
Well, here's my answer to that then. The two of you are going to get together and meet. I think she owes you some money. I don't know how much that is, but I think she owes you some money. I don't know that her information to me, her numbers on her, what she can pay are accurate. So you're going to get to have some discovery as to what she actually has coming in and what she has actually going out. And if you can show me that she's got more than 50 bucks or $100 a month, I'll give you that. I'm highly unlikely to give you 500 bucks a month. Figure something out.
I understand that, Your Honor, and just to cover statutory interest on this payment, I mean, it's gonna have to come up to somewhere around 250 bucks, and with what the defendant says he's making here.
That assumes that she really owes you 20 grand on a 10-year-old vehicle that's only got 61,000 miles on it. If you guys ripped her off to begin with or didn't get a fair market value for that vehicle, I don't think she owes you 20 grand.
Your
So
Honor,
you've heard what I
there's already-
said. You've heard what I said. We're
I
going to
did.
adjourn for 30 days. You guys
Okay.
are going to meet. You guys are going to meet. So Ms. Kuzart, what's the number that counsel can call you at so that he can discuss this matter with you?
It's 231-350-6565.
Counsel, where do you want her to call at?
586-558-9000.
Sorry, I didn't get that second string of numbers. 586
558
558.
9000. And then you can just do direct on this one, 5473.
All right, so Ms. Kuzart, I need you to get some documentation together that shows how much money you make every month and that supports what those bills are that are going out every month. You've got 7 days to do that. I need details. I need details. I need to know where every dime is going. Every dime that comes in, every dime that's going. You're going to send a copy of all of that to the attorney. You're going to call him before you send it so that he knows it's coming and he can decide how long he's going to wait for it to get there. Once he gets that, he's going to call you and you guys are going to discuss how much you can pay on what you owe and whether or not you owe the entire amount that he's claiming. Now, if you damage that vehicle or if it was broken or busted in some ways that depreciates that vehicle, you better have some proof of that, and he's going to have some proof of what that vehicle shape was in when it was sold.
If you're into real courtroom moments like this where the truth slowly comes out piece by piece, make sure you hit subscribe, because cases like this only get more intense the deeper you go.
Can't reach an agreement. We'll talk about all of that in 30 days. We'll send out notices to both of you for that next court date. Do we have a date we can give them right now?
26th of January.
January the 26th, which is the last Monday in January. We come back at 1:45. Anybody have any questions?
Yes, I have one. Is that the money that's going out? Do I count what comes in, or do I count after the garnishment?
I want you to substantiate every dime that comes in and every dime that goes out and where it goes out to.
Yes, Your Honor.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then as far as
Counsel,
if
I'm
we're
sorry, go ahead.
addressing the underlying judgment here, then you want me to just submit the documents that I have as far as the contract itself, the repossession, the inspection that was done on the vehicle. I mean,
If you think that she needs to see that, then you can go ahead and submit it to her. If she has any questions about any of that, then you can submit that to her. And then if you can't reach an agreement, I want to see everything before the next court date on the 26th. So Ms. Kuzart's going to send in all her, if you can't reach an agreement, Ms. Kuzart's going to send in all her paperwork showing what she makes and what she spends. And you're going to send me everything that you've got on how good of that vehicle that was and what you got for it at the auction and why it was so small. Everybody understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's all for today then. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next matter is a landlord-tenant matter. It's Olivia Smith versus Eric Garrison, file 25-41381-LT. I do see Ms. Smith is with us. Mr. Garrison is also with us. We were here on this matter previously on, I believe, November the 17th. And the parties agreed that they would try to resolve the matter with either payment or non-payment of the amount due. Ms. Smith, what has happened since the last court date?
So I set Eric up on a payment plan to pay last Friday, this coming up Friday, and then hopefully have the final payment made the day after Christmas. He tried to stop it and make a payment this morning to my office, but we were not open. He said he's going to come in this afternoon. But I still want to I want to move forward with the 10 days because that'll put him till Christmas. And then if he doesn't have everything paid up by the 26th, which is the next day that I can come in and file the paperwork that he hasn't paid or he has paid. That's kind of what I want to do. And Eric knows that that's what the plan is.
All right, Mr. Garrison, you've heard what Ms. Smith has said. Is that your agreement?
Yes, Olivia, can you give me that total one more time that has to be paid to you by the Christmas?
By like the 26th. It's $1,575. So it was $525 last Friday, $525 this Friday, and $525 next week.
Okay.
Okay. So if he can stick to that schedule, then we'll be good. I just don't want to start this process all over again.
No, I don't either.
All right, so as I understand it, if he pays it all off by Christmas, and that's a total of $1,575, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
All right. If he does that, the case would be dismissed.
Correct.
If he doesn't do that, then it would start the clock running for the 10 days for him to be out, and eviction would be available after that 10-day period of time. Is that what you understand, Ms. Smith?
Yes. Does that 10 days start from today?
No, it would start from the date of
From the
the
25th?
last. Correct. The date that it last would be due. So it'd be
Okay.
10 days after that. So it'd be January the 9th or the 10th or whatever that, well, there.
10
No,
days
it'd be
after.
January.
So, okay.
Yeah, 10
so it'll
days
be
after the
6th.
25th, whatever that date works out, January the 4th or whatever it is.
Yep.
Mr. Garrison, do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
All right. Let me see if I have the appropriate, I don't know if I have the appropriate documentation in front of me to do that. All right, Ms. Smith, I do not see a proposed judgment in the file. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to submit. There should be a form, and if you don't have it, you can ask the court staff. Ms. Good is with me, so she'll remember this if you call her later this afternoon to get a judgment.
What's that form number? Because I'm sure I have it. I'm sure I have one here.
I don't know it off the top of my head. I don't.
Okay.
If you can't find it, call Ms. Good this afternoon in another hour or so once we're out of court, another half hour when we're out of court. And I'm sure she'll be able to tell you what that number is and you can prepare that. If you would send me that form with 10 days from the date that the payment is due,
And just like that, the judge puts everything on pause. No immediate payment order. No blind approval of a $22,000 debt. Instead, both sides are forced to come back with real proof. Proof of income, proof of expenses, proof of what that vehicle was actually worth. Because if something doesn't add up, the court is not going to ignore it. And in the second case, a tenant is on the edge of eviction, trying to stay in his home by making last-minute payments before the deadline hits. One mistake, and he's out. Two different cases, one courtroom, and one judge making it clear, if something feels off, it will be questioned. If this case had you thinking, hit that like button, drop your opinion below, and subscribe for more real courtroom breakdowns. Because these cases only get more unbelievable from here.